Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neal.
And Treacherous Trista.
And this is a special show because Saturday is Severed Limb 6. Throw another head on the Barbie. The Without Your Head Short Film Festival. And we have a bunch of very cool filmmakers here to talk about their movies. Let's see. We have Steven Stull.
Okay. All good.
I was specifically not going to do that. And
That's the thing. You primed yourself. You set yourself up for it. Yeah.
Exactly. Glenn Payne.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yes. Oh, by the way, we'll after we introduce everyone, we'll ask what you guys have in store for us. Vince Tazzo.
Hey.
Hello.
Here.
Back in the dark there. Michael Epstein.
The dark?
It's fine. It's fine.
It's fitting.
Nicholas Hatch.
Good.
And who's your buddy there, Nicholas?
Oh, it's Tommy Dolman.
I like him. He's looking good there. Dustin Ferguson.
Yo.
Julia Hapney.
Hello.
Hello. And Rudy Womack, who we will not see, but we will hear.
Hello, everybody.
It's good to have everybody here. So we'll start with Steven. Tell us what film we're going to be seeing this Saturday.
Nobody told me we were doing finger guns. I would have been on the finger guns. I feel like I let everyone down.
Way ahead of you.
I sent the memo, Steven.
Failed, right? I have you to go immediately to spam all your messages. Anyway, sorry. You will be seeing my short film. Shit's About to Get Dark.
Oh.
It's kind of what I consider my first short film. Because it's actually my second, but it's the first one where I kind of felt like I was making the kind of movies I wanted to make. So this will be your insight into who I am as a person right out of the bat.
Yeah, I noticed there's always a theme in your films. There's uncomfortable sex scenes and all your...
Yep. That's kind of my thing. The priest and mother of the captive boy, just as a teaser for the rest of you who haven't seen it. It gets pretty uncomfortable between the two of them.
Yes. It's hard to talk too in depth about any of the movies since they're shorts without giving too much away. But we'll talk as much as we can here. Glenn, what are we going to see from Glenn Payne?
I have a fun little sort of spoof of a short called A Horror Movie. Very inventive name. So it plays around with like some cliches and stuff you might see. Anyway, hopefully it's a really fun ride for everybody, especially if you love the genre.
Yeah, I do. And I, like you said, for people, which I assume most people watching this will probably be into horror movies.
Yeah.
It'll play better with them. And one specific thing is a pet peeve of mine always in movies is how they get rid of cell phones. It's always like super obvious. So you make as obvious as possible. And that's my favorite.
Yeah. It's fun. Flip phones too. So that was even more fun.
Vince.
All right. So I had this idea to build a haunted house in my backyard for Halloween for a couple years now. As soon as it came around on Saturday, and I figured while I had it up, I had to make a short film in it. Because I used it for trick-or-treaters. So,
oh, really? I hope they didn't end up the same as the movie, not to spoil the film.
It was really cool. A lot of people went through it. It was more of a hallway than a house, but I was happy I built it.
Yeah.
So I made an outline based on a bunch of props in the haunted house that I knew I could gimmick to work for my movie. Mm-hmm. I was like, I have this, and this I can work with. And then me and my friends ate like a quarter of mushrooms and winged it.
I saw that in your description of the film, and I didn't know if this was like the reality was.
That's how it went down. It was almost all improv and made up on the spot.
Very interesting. And this is a weird connection, but you said it's more of a hallway. But if you've ever watched like the documentary Haunters and they show McCamey Manor, which is not the greatest place to talk about, but it's very similar setup outside. It's just like outside a long hallway.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Michael.
I have a short film called Pyromania that was made as a segment in an anthology called I Am an Addict. And it's sort of my take on a news magazine, like TV news magazine profile on a pyromaniac. And I set myself on fire a lot for it. So
I noticed.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you any burns involved.
No, it didn't hurt too much. I definitely lost some hair and it smelled bad. And yeah, nothing too severe, you know.
Yeah, that's a good excuse to use if people are like, if they could smell you, like, well, I lit myself
Yep.
on fire.
Exactly.
I'm glad your eyes are okay, 'cause that had me cringing a bit.
Everything is okay.
All right.
He likes doing things to his eyes, apparently.
Eyeballs really freak me out. Like
They do me as well.
eyeballs, definitely the top of my list of things that freak me out.
Yeah.
As does like drowning. So that was both those things always play a prominent role in stuff I make now.
Yeah. If anyone's ever had LASIK, I had LASIK. I don't know if anyone else here. It's a very odd experience. It involves your eyeballs. You actually see back when I had it, I think it's probably done a little different now, but you actually see the scalpel come around your eye, and then your eye just goes down and it goes bloodshot, and it's not a great. Julia, who is your film involves Trista here.
It does, yes. I'm here to talk about The Summoners, which was actually directed and written by Christian Ackerman, and Chuck Foster was also one of the writers on it as well. I did all the makeup effects, so that's why I'm here.
Yeah, very cool, and amazing makeup in it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now, how did you get involved? Did you know Christian before that?
I did, yeah, and I'd worked quite a bit with Black Box TV with Tony B as well.
Very cool. We'll talk more about it here momentarily.
Yay!
Dustin.
Yes.
What film are we going to be seeing from you, Dustin?
It is an episode called Ball of Stress from the series Creatures, which is our spinoff of Tales from the Grave. It was inspired by Basket Case and Eraserhead. It's black and white, and it focuses a little creature that's a ball of eyeballs.
Very cool. Now, you said it's from your anthology. Did you do all the other episodes of the anthology, or were they done by different directors?
Different directors. And actually, Michael did an episode in my Tales from the Grave series, and there was 3 seasons for that. And then we did the first season so far of Creatures.
Oh, very cool. And this kind of question for both you and Michael: when you do a short that's part of an anthology, do you want it to play that it can play by itself, so it can play like a festival like this, and also be part of the entire anthology?
I always, like I've told Michael and other people too, I'm always okay with it if it's from something that is something I've created, as long as it's presented as such. Like if he wants to show his Tales from the Grave episode, as long as it's shown with the Tales from the Grave bumpers, it's fine.
And how about Rudy here?
I'm here. So my film is a little short horror film called Prudence. Just like Dustin's, it's black and white. It actually takes place in the middle of a winter storm in 1893. And the film takes place in Wyoming, but we actually shot in Colorado. And we were actually fortunate enough that while we were shooting, a huge blizzard rolled in. So we were working outside literally in a snowstorm the entire time making this movie. So it really brought a lot to the overall feel of the film.
Now, when I first talked to you, Rudy, it was had you on the show, and it was for your feature film, and it was set in the snow too. What's your deal with snow?
Yeah. So Call of the Wolf was also my very first feature, also set in the snow. I'm just from the mountains in Wyoming, so I'm just used to working in the cold, working in the snow. Actually, Michael Epstein and I also worked on a film a couple of years ago, not in the snow, but definitely in the rain up in the mountains. So I'm just kind of used to working in the elements, I guess, and I like to bring that to the forefront in a lot of my stories.
I was going to ask what do you do to make something feel like it's cold? And I assume it was just actually cold. No.
Yeah. It was something like 20 below as we were shooting. And our poor actress, Ladius Muhammad, was walking barefoot in the snow. So, she was a trooper.
And she's excellent in the movie. There's a few movies, shorts this Saturday that are in black and white. It's interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, Marsky M is in a horror movie. The name, a horror movie by Glenn here, and she says hello. Not just in a random horror movie.
Wait, who is that? Who's in it?
Well, their YouTube name is Marsky M.
Oh,
Marsky M, maybe. I don't know.
oh, Marley Mahari.
I don't know. That's not how that's not how the YouTube name looks. But
You'll know
She's
in
in
like
disguise. She's a teacher, so she's probably hiding her identity when she says,
all right. You
says
just
bad stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. Trista, do you have a question for the panel here?
did we hear about Nicholas movie? Sorry.
Nicholas.
Did
Oh,
I?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Nicholas. We missed Nicholas.
Oh, it's all right.
Well, see, I talked to Nicholas earlier because this is his first time using Zoom, and so
Heard everything he had to say. You're like, all right, I'm done with it.
record that. Yes. Nicholas, tell us. We're going to see several movies from Nicholas Saturday.
Yeah. Got the paper bag murders.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a funny one. I made a movie called Stuntman Harry.
Which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I was watching a lot of the original Gone in 60 Seconds. So that's how that got made. But and then the Clownswood Killer. That's was supposed to be like two clowns, kind of, because that scared a few people. It was filmed in the same area, and yeah.
Did you never made like short films or anything before we started doing the festival? Is that correct?
No. As a teenager, I'd film myself skateboarding. I'd, set the phone up and try to like get me doing a big trick and stuff. But yeah, always been filming myself.
So what was it like? Was it Severed Limbs that inspired you to try to do something? And start making?
Yeah, and a fellow filmmaker, Nicholas Charles. We talk a lot. He got me into making films, and then I just moved to Maine in September, and then in October came. It started to snow 5 days before Halloween, and so I rushed kind of making two clowns, and that was my first. I put a lot of work into that. That was tricky.
Yeah, honestly, not just saying this to you here, but that's a big part of inspiration for you continue to do these. That someone makes them specifically to play here. It's an outlet.
Yeah.
To have some creativity. I like that. And it's cool is that all the different levels here of experience in filmmaking. Some people's been doing it for a long time, and yourself just started doing it.
I'm hoping my next one will be a 15-20 minute little masterpiece.
Yeah.
A lot of mine have been little shorts, I guess.
I just have fun with it. It doesn't matter,
No.
If it doesn't have to be, 20 minutes.
A lot of people enjoyed Tommy Dahlman. He was fun making this guy.
Yeah. I'm glad that you kept him around.
Yeah. I got Vito Pecorino's face up there.
Right. From previous Severed Limbs, along with Dahlman. Yeah. All right. So, Trista, did you have a question for anyone or the panel itself?
I have a question for Julia.
Yes.
What kind of blood do you like to use and why?
I actually use different kinds of bloods for different stuff, but my main recipe is like a mix of methicellulose and corn syrup and food coloring and water. Keep it safe and
you
edible.
make that yourself?
I do, yeah. And then
That's
if I purchase stuff, I'll usually purchase like the Ben Nye thick blood. It's called thick scab, I think. And I like to have it on hand too, just because it doesn't get moldy, like it lasts a long time. Where all of my drip bloods I make the night before. Because they're all edible. There's no soap in them, so it can get in your eyes and in your mouth and cleans up pretty good.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
You've been in it quite a few times.
Experience, yes. And you have your own business now, right?
I do, yeah. I started a company called Aberration Effects. Actually, I have my little T-shirt on with my logo.
Oh,
it's a
right.
cat, surprise. But yeah.
And Julie has worked for me, and I can attest that she does amazing work.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, it's very
Dustin
cool.
also has a Bengal cat, so we're like,
I do.
We're
She's
cat
the one I'm
friends.
keeping out of the room. We're bingo twinsies.
Oh, there's a lot of animals going around tonight here. That's a common theme on the show. I had a possum in the house a couple weeks ago, but it's out.
Well,
As far as I know, I haven't seen them for a while. So.
they'll help protect you from ticks, I guess. So if you have ticks growing in your living room or something like that, keep the possum around.
It
It'll
was in
help.
the kitchen, so it's a tick-free kitchen, hopefully.
Tick-free kitchen.
Most important room to be tick-free.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I would try to keep them out of the kitchen. Elsewhere, they can come and go, but the kitchen is probably the best. So, Stephen, you said this was your second film.
Yeah, I went to a I don't want to be too squirrely about it. We don't have to get into all the details, but I went to a film school, and at the end of it, I made a movie. This was a long time ago. I made a movie and it was a great experience. It was shooting on film. The school let me use their 16mm camera. Had a bunch of crew and stuff. We shot a movie, and then I went like a really long period of time without making anything because I didn't really know, what kind of filmmaker I was, what kind of movies I wanted to make. And I realized that this last movie I had made, this one thing that I had made on my own outside of any class or anything like that, was kind of forgettable. It's kind of the same as every young filmmaker trying to make Oscar bait crap, just drama about people arguing over stuff and whatever. And it didn't really, whatever. And then so you fast forward about 10 years or so, and I go to my first film festival and I see their Midnights lineup. Right. And it's the first time I'd ever seen a midnight movie. And like my brain just completely exploded. And I thought, holy shit, you can make movies that are just like this, like you can make weirdo movies. And I was instantly, like, the first night that I saw these midnight shorts I'll shout them out, at the Florida Film Festival. I saw their midnight shorts lineup in 2013, and instantly I was like, oh, I know what movie I want to make. And then I started working on it and trying to make that happen. But yeah, so it's not technically my first movie, and I don't make a big deal about it, but it's the first one that I consider to be something in my voice, something that's that I consider part of my whole deal.
Yeah. Well, along those lines, like for you, Glenn, when did you decide, like, this is the style of movies I want to make? Because a lot of your movies, they're horror based, but there's also a lot of comedy in them.
I think like I like most genres of movies. So one of the cool things about making films is you can kind of, right now you're interested in this, and then in a year or 6 months or whatever, maybe you want to try something else. But I'm always drawn to horror, and like you said, comedy. The last so many years have been weird and tough, and for a lot of reasons. So laughter just became that much more vital to me and stuff that I was watching. And I have a background in comedy, like with improv. So putting the two of them together became it's like it got even more and more and more fun, and playing around with the line between getting your suspense and thrills and scares and stuff with laughs too. So I don't know, like in the last 5 or 6 years or so, I've been leaning even more towards that side of stuff, which it never gets old. And one thing too, like if you do your own editing and stuff like that, or if you do a lot of festivals, whenever there's a chance to laugh, I get bored with my own movie slower. I can watch it more times because you get the crowd laughing, hopefully, and you get that immediate response, which is always enjoyable.
Well, I think when you're at the movies in the theater, comedy and horror are the two best movies to watch with other people, because you can share, and some interaction. Like, you can't just sit there and everyone cry. I guess you could sit there and cry. Everyone's crying together watching a drama, but it wouldn't really be the same experience.
Yeah, it's hard to really feel what they're thinking about. If you do drama and you're sitting there for 90 minutes or 10 or whatever, and you're like, I don't know, maybe they liked it. Who knows? But if you get them jumping or laughing, then yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Vince, was this your first short? Like, how many films have you made?
Oh man, I've made so much trash. So I had a class in high school, and video editing was like real easy to me, like how to film stuff out of order and piece it together. So eventually I just read Lloyd Kaufman's book and went, I can make a zombie movie. And then from there, I made like one movie a month for a whole year, just to kind of figure out what worked, what didn't, what I was good at, what I wasn't. And it's just, fun for me and my friends to get together, get some beers or whatever, and just make something.
Where would you normally show them at? Like, would you put them
Oh.
online or?
Yeah, they're all on YouTube. B Movie TV on the Roku runs some of them. I have like a werewolf one. There was a place in the city. It was a Cinema Obscura. It was a pop-up theater running through Chicago that they would run like my werewolf one and my slasher every once in a while. So it's like, I don't know, they're around. They're just here and there. Like I said, me and my friends just do it for fun. So it's just kind of cool to throw it out there. Usually I'll see like something in a movie and I want to rip it off. Is like how the short film will start, like a certain gag, like, or like somebody getting killed a certain way. I'll be like, I want to try to do that. And then I'll create something just around that based on whatever I have.
Very cool. No, Dustin, your film's also black and white.
Yes, and it's the only black and white thing I've ever made, actually.
Oh, really?
Strangely.
What was the decision there to make it black and white?
An artistic decision, because I make a lot of B movies. I've done, 115 feature films, and most of them are B films. And so this was my attempt at making something that was more offbeat and somber. And I thought that being that, Eraserhead was black and white, and that was kind of the feel I was going for, like the vibe. I stuck with that format.
Is there any difference actually filming in black and white? Like, did you know you're going to film it in black and white before you made it, or was that decision?
Yeah, so I had a lot of high contrast, like contrasting colors in all of the shots, because I knew that when I had done the black and white, then that there would be sharper blacks depending on the patterns and stuff. So it was actually very meticulously planned around it.
And Rudy, did you also know going in that you were going to do it in black and white?
Yes, without giving too much of the film away, the black and white is actually not just an artistic choice, but it's actually an important element of the story. So we knew right away that we were going in black and white. We knew that the costumes, the location, everything was going to have to be black and white. So therefore, we did a couple of tests. It took us a while to find the right costume for our actress, actually, because we needed it to look a certain way in black and white, and also be functional, because we knew we were going to be shooting out in the snow. So we needed to, make sure it covered up all the layers our actress was wearing underneath it. But it's actually an important part of the story, and when you see the film, you will see why.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to give stuff away, but it adds to the ambiguity of like what time this is happening.
Yes, exactly. So it's actually a pretty important thing that we had included in the script itself. So
Julia, when you're doing makeup, do the actual features of whoever you're working on, does that affect like if you go in, you might have an idea of how you're going to do the makeup, but then when you actually see the person, what they look like and their physical features, does that change how you're going to do the makeup?
Yeah, if they're just like super ugly or something, and you're like, oh god,
out there like he doesn't need anything, he's good. Yeah.
No, like if anything, sometimes people will have like they'll have a scar already, and you're like, oh, like I'm gonna take that scar and work off of that, and then make something. Like, no, really, sorry, the cat's in the way, but that happens. That kind of thing happens a lot. And like certain prosthetics, like depending on how somebody's face is shaped, like I might have a prosthetic and I think I want to use it this way. And then once I get there, I realize their face is just maybe thinner or a little bit of this differently. And so then I might flip it this way. And like there's some stuff that is meant to be like a nasolabial fold, and I'll flip it upside down and use it like in a weird way to create a look. Basically anything light pulls forward and anything dark pushes back. Sure. That's a basic makeup thing. So yeah, things definitely change when I see people in person.
When did you get into makeup? Were you doing like makeup stuff before before it was your career?
I've been doing this professionally since 2004. So a while. And no, before that, before I got into it, I thought I wanted to be a medical marine biologist and study sharks. So I was going to college majoring in biology, minoring in chem for that. If anything, I want to do a shark movie. I've never done a shark movie. and I want to so
I got
bad.
you, girl. I
I
got you.
know. Like,
Yeah,
I
people
wanna
here
do
might
one.
be interested. Yeah. Nicholas, he's hiding behind the doll man there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, you have a lot of props in your movie, like the dollman. So, do you make them specifically for the movie, or did you have like doll man sitting around, or?
No, yeah, well, yeah, this was just a normal looking doll, and I painted his face and gave him Michael's hairdo there. It worked out. He was scary.
Yeah, I like him. I like
But
him.
yeah, Vito, he's a funny prop dummy. He's like 6 feet tall. That Vito Pecorino prop there.
You make your films all by yourself?
Yeah, it's stressful. I need some friends.
we all do, Nicholas.
Yeah. I just set the phone up and hopefully it works out. It takes a few tries.
Yeah.
But
Awesome. I've done a handful of films by myself.
What was that, Vince?
I've done a handful of films by myself. Awesome.
no, it works.
I got one where I filmed it backwards and shaved my beard down, so it looks like my beard grows.
I like that. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. You're giving Nicholas ideas here for the
Yeah.
beard in the next one. Huh? Michael. So there was something specific I wanted to ask about yours, but now I forget. But so who did you make yours with? I assume with Sophia. Did she film it or?
She did, yeah. Sophia was the cinematographer and the person who put out fires that were breaking out in our apartment, and yeah, she helped design the whole look of it and kind of build it, because it's really, like I was saying, it's kind of like it's supposed to be like a kind of a profile on a person. So it was about creating kind of like imagery and using a lot of different techniques. Like we did some like rear projection. There's a tiny bit of green screening. And then
that was because I don't remember a lot of green screening in any of your other work.
No, occasionally, but I think there's only one green screen shot in this whole movie. There's a lot of rear projection that might look like that too. And then it's just a mix of all different techniques just to try to create kind of like a set of images. It's a little bit, it's not really like a super narrative film. It's just kind of like I don't know. I guess I remember watching all those like news things with like the sad music where people are just kind of like walking down the street talking about their sad lives, and I was like, well, this might be a fun way to approach
sounds fun.
Yeah, so we kind of went for that, and we tried to think about like what are the images that would go well under like a person narrating what it is they do as a pyromaniac.
Yeah.
When Steven earlier was saying like this was the first movie that he thought was like his voice, and I always think that's something that's important to you, that you have a message in your film. So when was that something important to you, or was that something always important to you when you started to make movies?
Oh, it's always been important. I mean, I think we came from music before this, and other arts, and it's always kind of like if you're creating something, it's your opportunity to say something to the people who are forced to watch it, right? So if I can trick people into watching something that I've created, I hope to at least be able to say something that I hope connects with them or has some meaning to them, and that is of some importance to me beyond just like here's some stuff I put on the screen. So yeah, definitely.
George James Fraser has joined us.
Hey, how are you doing, guys?
Hey,
Hey, George.
Hey,
so
Dustin.
George, let us know what film we're going to see of yours this Saturday.
It's called Fuck Yes. And it's
Fuck
Tale of
yes.
Desire.
So what can we expect? I know it's not very long, so you can't give too much away.
Oh yeah. Well, it's an epic tale
It is an epic tale
of true desire and about attaining what you want and what you feel you deserve in your life by any means necessary.
So like The Secret? Is that the
There's a lot of stuff in the movie. Like it's not very long, but there's a lot of like physical things in the movie. So, and I know you've been making stuff for a long time. For that kind of stuff, is that just stuff you've amassed over time making movies, or do you go specifically and like let's continue?
Well, that set is basically what my living room decor is.
Oh.
So we're always satanic seance ready around here. You never know when you're going to have to communicate with the dark side and strike a deal. So we always have that stuff on hand, just ready to go.
Excellent. What are those behind you, Dustin?
What? My little demonoids.
Yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah, they're custom made by Dustin Wade Mills. It was in my Tales from the Grave series. Actually, I just made a feature film with these guys like a month ago.
Oh, very nice. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Trista, do you have a question for anyone here or everyone here?
I do. It's kind of a tricky question, but could everyone give me a favorite horror film of theirs? So we'll start with Steven because he's
God.
used in-
Okay. Fuck. Okay. God damn. Can I look at my racks? I don't know if I have any.
Yeah, you
back
can
there.
cheat.
I can cheat a little. I don't know. Damn. It's such a broad open. It's so bizarre to me. That we call certain things similar. Like for instance, just you call like a Banksy and the Sistine Chapel are both like the same art form, and it just makes no sense to me. And I think that's sort of like it's fractal even when you get down to the genre. Like you take The Shining and you take John Gulager's Feast trilogy. Right? And I mean, I'm a super fan of the Feast trilogy. I love watching this. So like, that was actually probably going to be my go-to answer here, just because it's nice and nearby, and I just saw it on the shelf and remembered it. But I love, like, in terms of gore-filled monster movies. I think I love Feast. I'm a big fan of that one.
They progressively get more bizarre and more bizarre.
Do. I kind of consider them a trilogy. I mean, the whole trilogy kind of you have to think as a unified thing, because if you only ever watch the first one, God, you are denying yourself so much joy.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the third one, it's fucking mind melting. Like I don't even want to talk. Like, if you haven't watched all three Feast movies, do that. That's a great little triple feature the next time that you got a day free and a case of beer sitting around or something.
Yeah,
and there's familiar faces.
Yeah.
In the sequels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Part of Without Your Head lore is because one of the founding members, Jittery John, part of the reason he left the show was an interview I did with John Gulager. He was not a fan, but I'm a big fan of the Feast movies, and me and John talked a lot about Monster Dong on the movie.
Monster Dong. Oh my God. Yeah.
Very important subject matter for sure.
I'm a big fan of monster dongs generally.
Yeah, they come up in the later Feast movies, and I love that they're not really necessarily, they don't really bring attention to them. They just happen to have dongs later on in the movie.
Right.
Which so I was very excited when you brought up the Feast films. Yeah. Glenn, do you have for Trista's question a favorite horror film?
Same exact answer. I'll stick with my horror comedy vibe for this portion of my life and go with Shaun of the Dead.
Nice.
Because it does so many things well. It's very funny. It's very smart. There's a lot of cool visual stuff in there and nods to other movies. But that's a go-to for me. I could watch that all the time. Love that flick.
Yeah.
Probably the most quotable movie for sure.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And I was able to, we were at a festival in London for a movie of mine called Driven, and plug there. And I got to do that long take walk, when he goes to like the salon. We got to recreate that. So that was kind of fun. And then post it. It was nice.
Yeah. And kind of like Steven was saying, like when you say, horror movies, there's so many different kinds, which is kind of the reason why I think I like horror movies, because if you're in the mood for just something, I like really gory stuff, and then I like something just silly and something goofy. So it's really depending on what you like or are into at that moment. And what you said, that movie, that I think Shaun of the Dead works as a horror movie and also works as a comedy, which
sure.
To me is a horror comedy has to work as both movies to be successful, I think.
Yeah.
How about Vince? Favorite horror film?
I'll have to say Dawn of the Dead, 'cause it's the only one I've got tattooed on me. I mean, Got to be that one.
It would be bad if you didn't like the movie and you had the tattoo.
Exactly. I could talk about that question for an hour and still not have a real answer, but I'll have to go with Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead is that, to me, it's the best zombie movie. It's one of the best horror movies. It's one of the best movies, I think.
Good
But
movie. Yeah.
what is it about it that was so personal to you that you got the tattoo?
Just how long ago I remember seeing it and how little I was, that it just made such an impact on me and probably my whole, between that and I could tell on your back of your thing there, Motel Hell. I remember seeing Motel really young, Farmer Vincent, I'm a Vincent. I was like, they just stuck with me at such a young age.
Yeah, we first got a VCR and we Curtis Mathis was our first video store, and that was the first movie I wanted my mom to rent for me, was Motel Hell, because I saw I saw the pig-headed farmer with a chainsaw in the magazines, and I was like, that's got to be a movie I need to see.
My grandparents had it on VHS, which I actually still have.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, and I was like 8 or so, and my mom rented it for me.
Awesome.
And I turned out totally fine.
Clearly.
Both of us. Yeah.
How about Nicholas? Your favorite film, to answer Trista's question. Favorite horror movie?
It's hard to answer. There's too many of them. Yeah. Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Great film.
Anything about it specifically that resonates with you?
The scary woods. I like the woods. And, yeah.
That's a good choice. So, Dustin.
A tie between 1974's Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween 3: Season of the Witch.
Nice.
I'm a big fan too, and it's weird because when I grew up, I was like one of the only people I knew who liked it, and now I'm both happy that it's more appreciated, but I also feel like the kid who liked the band before they got popular, and now
exactly. Like it's the hip thing to do, to be like, Halloween 3 is totally cool. It's like, what? I've been saying that for like my whole life.
Right. I honestly think it's the best sequel of the Halloween movies.
Me too. I mean, the original is obviously a classic, but you got to give Part 3 credit.
I like the first one the best, but for sequels, I think Part 3 is the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the mood, the atmosphere, the cinematography, the pulsating score, the clever and intelligent storyline that was way ahead of the times. I mean, there's just so much to like about that.
Yeah, and forget all these direct sequels to the first movie. Let's get a direct sequel to the third movie.
Yeah,
Halloween.
I directed.
All right, we'll work on this. Julia, your favorite horror film?
My longtime favorite since I was a kid is definitely Puppet Master and the whole original Puppet Master series. If anything, I ran over and got my little blade head so I can show you guys. And then if I had to pick a favorite horror movie of like the recent times, definitely Feast is up there. I absolutely love it. Like anybody that hasn't seen it, I try and tell them it's like can't hardly wait, but horror and awesome. And because of little things.
Such a good comparison.
But I love The Hunt. Have you guys seen The Hunt? I absolutely love everything about it. It's my favorite new one, I think.
It's interesting. That's a movie that I've seen a lot of people actually really like it or really hate it. There's not too much in between.
It's really fun. I mean, it's got a lot of kills, a lot of VFX, not a whole lot of practical stuff, but it works in a way. But it's like a horror comedy where you're laughing too.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
You said Puppet Master. When I was a kid, I was never really afraid of a lot of things, but sometimes like the small stuff would kind of freak me out. I think it's because I had a lot of toys and action figures in my room.
The Lynch Lady always got me.
Michael, your favorite horror film?
My favorite is the same as Steven's favorite, Phantasm. He's a big fan of Phantasm.
I like Phantasm.
Damn it.
I love Phantasm. I love the whole series really, but I think it's just a really beautiful exploration of like grief and what it is to grow as a child, to understand like what death is about and all that. And it's just been my favorite for a long time.
What did you think of Part 5, Michael? I have to know.
I like them all. I like 5. I know.
You're happy with how it ended?
I know 5 is much maligned, but I love it. I think it's a great bookend because it's like the first movie is about a young kid coming to terms with understanding death, and the fifth one is about a person losing their, has Alzheimer's, losing their memory and their identity and coping with death themselves. So I feel like it completes that full cycle. So I dig them all five.
Me too. It was excellent.
I think the fifth one, it might be my favorite of the sequels. I really like it, and the first one's the best, but I like five a lot too. Good choice.
Throw me under the fucking bus, don't you, Michael? God damn it.
That's my job, throwing you under the bus.
George, your favorite horror film?
Well, I mean, obviously, super difficult question, but I have to go with my roots, and I think the quintessential rock and roll horror movie is The Lost Boys. It's like I saw that and I wanted to get myself a lightning bolt earring, and I wanted to
and get a saxophone,
get the pretty girl on the beach boardwalk, and that was just my entire goal for life. Then going forward.
Well, you still have time to make this happen.
Oh, I'm working on it. Yeah.
I still believe in you.
Oh, thank you.
Rudy.
I mean, like everybody said, it's kind of a hard question to answer, but without sounding too pretentious, one of the films that actually had the biggest impact on me was 1935's The Bride of Frankenstein.
Oh,
when I was a little kid, I read like an abridged version of Frankenstein. So I went to Blockbuster to try to find the film, and they didn't have it, but they had The Bride of Frankenstein. So I watched that when I was in, I don't know, maybe the 4th or 5th grade. And that movie had such an impact on me. I was just so blown away. I wasn't really scared of it or anything. It is an old black and white film. But, that scene where Dr. Pretorius has those people in those jars was just so cool to me. And I would say that film had a pretty big impact on my journey as a filmmaker.
Excellent choice. One of my favorites as well. We have some new people here. Who are you guys? I don't know how else to ask that.
I'm Lucky Cerruti. I am one of the co-directors of Transferal, which will be playing the festival. And with me is my other co-director.
I'm Matt Sorensen, and I'm a puppeteer and a theater buff and a burgeoning horror movie enthusiast.
Oh, very cool. So first of all, tell us a little bit about Transferal. What are you going to be seeing Saturday?
Yeah, so this will be actually the first time that anyone has seen the short. Neal, I don't know if you know that, but you have
I didn't know that.
the premiere, which is awesome. So Transferal will be a part of a larger anthology coming from our company, Dead Vision Productions. And the short is kind of this otherworldly, it has like a sci-fi bent to it. It is a gentleman who is visited by a stranger at his door, and it kind of unfolds from there. What do you want to? Do you want to?
Long story short, we're doing a play on an alien parasite symbiote kind of thing. And the stranger at the door is the old host, and the new guy is the new host, and it's all about the transferal. And there will be lots of tentacles, and
there is, yeah. I'm a big fan of this
So
short. It's very exciting that it'll be playing for the first time at Severed Limbs.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very excited about it. So yeah, that's the gist. Last year we made a movie called Freak. I don't know if anybody has seen that or anything, but that was another collaboration. We had a 7-foot tall puppet killing some teenagers in the woods. So if that's your jam, check that out. But yeah, we're so happy to be involved. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for sending in, and thanks for being here. And it's great because I love the story. It's a short story, but it's and it's well acted, and I love the stop motion in it. There's a not stop motion.
That's not stop motion.
It has a stop motion feel, which is very fun to me.
That's funny you say that, because Freak, we got that a lot also. Something about, I don't know, the puppet. I mean, it's all practical. It's all puppetry. It's, fishing line.
It was a plus to me. It's not a negative. So.
No, absolutely. We love. Hopefully, one day there will be some stop motion when we have a little bit more time to do that.
Like next year.
Yeah, right. But yeah, I mean, thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
Yeah, and since you just came in to answer Trista's question, you guys have a favorite horror film? You can each of you have a separate one. It's not
for me, this is formative and life-changing. I saw it on network television when it came out, and it screwed me up for life, and I still think about it a lot. And it influences a lot of my artistic choices. Like we're making a clown movie right now.
Well, yeah. So this what Transferal will eventually turn into is an anthology that will run as a block of cable television.
Nice.
So the shorts will be hosted by like a kind of a Svengoolie type of character that will introduce them and kind of guide us through it. But intermittently, there will be commercial breaks, and we are shooting fake commercials, fake movie trailers, all of that sort of stuff as these commercial breaks. So it truly runs like a block of old cable TV. So yeah, we are shooting a fake trailer for a clown movie that doesn't exist, which is really fun. So yeah, I guess we have been thinking about Pennywise a little bit.
I've totally made a fake trailer for a clown movie that doesn't exist. That's awesome.
Awesome. And as far as a favorite, it's so hard for me. But on any given day you ask me, it flip-flops between two. And one will echo Dustin's, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 1974. That is just about as perfect of a horror movie as I can think of. But the other is one that I love so much, very formative as far as what scares me, and that is 1989's Pet Sematary. I love that film so much.
The whole movie has a feel of dread, like everyone's doomed.
I honestly think that Zelda is the scariest thing that has ever been put on film ever. I will go to bat every day for that. So those would be my two.
Yeah, that's a good. I've actually tried to get him. It's the guy who plays Zelda on the show, but I'm never heading along.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah. I agree. I always thought that was like the scariest image.
That is, it's terrifying. Still, I've seen that movie. I don't know how many times. It will still freak me out.
Yeah. What was it about Pennywise?
What do you mean? What? Like just every single. And like, but the weird part is that it also developed like a Tim Curry fetish for me. So I can watch Pennywise and be like, that's Tim Curry being amazing. But then when I watch any of the effects or any of the scares in that movie, I still want to crap my pants.
Oh yeah. I remember watching it on TV too when it was out, and immediately when it was over, my mother made me go take a shower. And
oh no.
It was the worst day of my life. Like I felt so much in that shower.
Well, that's so weird though. She made you take a shower to like wash off the sins of the movie.
I guess so. I don't know. I was a kid, so I don't know how long it's been since I last time, but apparently it was necessary, and it was awful.
They mentioned some stuff they're working on. Steven, do you have anything that's coming out in the future that people can look forward to?
I do. What can I say? What can I share? I can share that I just completed a Kickstarter for an anthology feature that I will be producing, featuring segments from some Sick and Wrong Film Festival alumni filmmakers, including, for whatever fucking reason, Mr. Epstein here. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna be starting. I don't know what the timeline's going to look like, but we're working on a feature film where it's an anthology. It's all directed by alumni from the Sick and Wrong Film Festival. It is called Fat Fleshy Fingers, and it is about a horrific sexually transmitted parasite hopping from person to person.
Very interesting. And also, by the way, I liked about your short is even though it shows a lot, it's graphic. It also leaves a lot up to the imagination, which I thought was a good, a wise decision.
Yeah, I hope I don't want to I guess prime anybody or spoil anything, but my goal when making that movie was to create this kind of contrast between the horror that you see, and there should be another kind of horror going on in your mind at the same time. But I don't know. I'll have to poll everybody. Do you think you could send out some polls to everybody who watches on Saturday and get
well, that's a good
get
point.
their names and addresses and phone numbers and
everyone's going to go on a list apparently. I mentioned this before we went live though. Your short is one of the shorts that I uploaded on kind of a dummy YouTube account I have just to make sure I wasn't going to get banned or anything.
And I'm shocked that the bots didn't flag you. I'm excited.
I had just plain interviews that get flagged, but this one, I think my last interview with Glenn got flagged. Oh, I don't know why, but this.
What did we do?
I have no idea. But I fought it or disagreed with it. Then they were fine with it. But yeah, I don't. It's very bizarre.
Maybe we hummed a song or something.
By the way, though, I do want to mention you don't have to give me your address and stuff, but we will have awards for Severed Limbs. So when you guys are watching them Saturday, take notes of your favorites. I'll have all the list of things, the categories, and we have fun awards. In fact, Nicholas has his award behind him.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah, everyone will not get he claimed it himself, but we do have a. By the way, there's a lot of cool people in the chat saying things. Shannon says, great to hear praise for Phantasm 5. AJ wants to know where we can see Freak.
We have physical copies and you can stream it on deadvisionproductions.com. Thank you.
Yeah. And a lot of hellos from a lot of people here. Stacy Wilson, who will be on the show tomorrow. Hello, Glenn, or what are you working on? Or what can we see from you in the future? I know you have a film that's going to be playing in England.
Yeah, new film called Killer Concept, which is out in the US and it's doing festivals coming up internationally. But you can check it out on Amazon and some of the other places. DVDs just came out, so that's cool, Blu-rays and stuff. And then Driven is another one. It's free on Tubi and through Amazon and lots of other places too. They cost whatever it costs. But yeah, so both horror comedies. So if you guys like that mix, maybe they'll be your jam, hopefully.
Yeah. Another thing I liked about A Horror Story is everyone besides Casey, who's clearly in the age range, they're clearly not teenagers and they're playing teenagers.
Yeah, like so a little spoiler for the short. Yeah, is that one of the characters? Oh gosh, Kenny. He was a mature actor at that stage, but he's wearing his Letterman and has a fake ID, and the payoff's pretty funny to me. So hopefully they'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't want to give away all the. They wanted. Shannon wants to know, what does Nicholas have in the works?
Oh.
For movie wise, we don't know like any kind of plans you guys.
Well,
I guess
nothing that's we don't want the police coming over.
I kind of do want the police coming over.
I just got a lot of ideas.
Very good. Yeah. Well, very good, and I'm glad that you keep sending stuff in. Honestly, I'm happy that this gives you an outlet to. I mean, you could put it on YouTube and stuff, but it's cool that people can come and watch your stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Vince, what are you working on?
I actually just started doing all my music and like all my short films are made by a friend I went to high school with. He plays all the instruments and just does for me. So he's working on 2 new songs, and I'm gonna kind of do like a double feature, one to each song. It's almost gonna be like a music video, but still a short film. And one I wrote after watching Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag the other day, and then the other one's gonna be like a monster and some cattails, because I could film down the street from my house.
Oh, nice. By the way,
Yeah.
there's a lot of nice decapitations in Homeless Haunted House, which is very fitting for Without Your Head.
Thank you. I've gotten pretty good at taking heads off things over the years. So
Well, good. Movie wise.
yes, movie wise.
Dustin, you have many things in the works. You're a very busy man.
Yeah, I made a quick little list here when you asked that question.
Oh, very good.
Okay, so I just finished Doll Killer 2 and Demonoids and Quakosaurus and Space Sharks. And I'm about to start Mega Ape, Hell of the Screaming Undead, and the Meat Hook Massacre TV series. And there's also a British remake of Terror at Black Tree Forest, my first feature that Sam Mason Bell's directing right now that I'm producing.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Sam was going to be here, but the time difference in England, it didn't, work out. I think we started at like 2 a.m. or something for him.
Yeah, it's the middle of the night there.
Yeah, very cool. His short though will play this Saturday.
Awesome.
And I also loved. I wanted to mention the noises of your creature in your short, because sometimes I think sound is overlooked, and it adds a lot to the movie.
Thank you. I wanted to make him kind of cute and adorable.
Yeah, and I think it worked as they're doing bad things.
Right.
Julia, what do you have in the works?
Stuff that just came out or is coming out. I have Dreamcatcher just came out. I believe that's on Hulu. About to come out. I have A Dark Foe comes out this Friday. And I just finished something called Evil Dwells Within. I just worked on Bloodthirst should be coming out in the next couple months. That has Tara Reid, and it has Costas Mandylor and Robert Lasardo.
Oh,
Then
cool.
other random stuff. I've got like 4 movies that are in pre-production, about to hit production.
Yeah.
One of them's a satanic cult film. Another's a worm movie. Another is a zombie movie with Dustin, actually. Yeah. Stuff's finally picking back up, thank goodness.
Yeah. Well, what was the hardest scene or makeup or anything to pull off in The Summoners?
The Summoners was so fun. I can't really say anything without spoiling it. But it's definitely, there's a lot of blood, but the acting, what the girls did, I mean, to talk a little bit about The Summoners, it's about them summoning something.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got that, satanic ghost kind of weird thing going on. It feels like a mix between like, Are You Afraid of the Dark meets The Craft, but for adults. And it's just really fun. The acting is amazing. I mean, I feel like the effects were great, like the work I did, but without the acting, it's just paint.
And since Trista's in it, Trista, what was it like to be made up by Julia?
It was great. We've worked together several times. I think that might have been the first time. But we have worked together. It's hard to tell actually when was the first time. We've worked together a lot. And we're also good friends. But so it was great when you're working with your friend and someone you trust, which is important, especially like in an indie horror film. I'm doing very physical things. Also trying not to give that much away, but it was daunting, so to have someone that you trust, making sure you're okay, more than just makeup, a good friend. So it was very special for me.
Michael, what do you have in the works? Apparently something with Steven.
I guess so. I didn't know about it until I mentioned it, but yeah, we're working on a segment for Steven's anthology, which I think will be fun. We're trying to revise that right now, and we're just getting back into things kind of slowly with a bunch of shorts. We just shot a movie called Sitting Duck, directed by Aaron Barocas, that stars Tuesday Night from Nightmare 4, and this weekend we're going to Colorado to shoot a movie called Demon for Hire. That's basically like a noir Lovecraftian movie starring a puppet who is a demon. It's kind of like Cast a Deadly Spell, but the main character is a puppet demon. I don't know, something like that.
Badass.
Yeah, and
like
then
typecasting for that poor puppet.
yeah, exactly. Poor guy. Then we're shooting another movie with Izzy Lee. I don't know if everybody's familiar with her stuff. She does a lot of awesome, really cool shorts. We're about to do that this month. And I'm probably leaving something out, but yeah, Steven's movie. And then I guess there's allegedly this project that we're working on with both Neal and Trista that's like been that we started a long time ago and then got postponed basically, halfway through for COVID things. But I think we're just about to have the courage and ability to get back into that. So
very good. And I want to ask, were those old school like snakes in Pyromania?
Oh yeah, the fire, like I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah, they're what are they called? I can't even remember.
I thought they were called snakes, but
they're like black mambas or like asps or something. They have like an actual snake. The ones we had have a snake name.
Yeah.
But yeah, you light them and they kind of burn in they form like snake
Poops.
apps.
Yeah.
You could say it. They make poops. They look like little poops.
They look
They
like
just-
poops.
yeah.
Yeah, they look.
When
like
I was a kid, and Michael, because we're the same age, but you could buy those everywhere in gumball machines, which is weird to think about now. They would like little kids could buy stuff that you'd have to take home matches.
Yeah, definitely.
Toy for children.
Definitely involves a lot of burning things and not good things for kids. But
Right. Yeah. I remember. I probably shouldn't say this, but my mom, when I would play with fireworks, she would give me a lit cigarette and just say, use this.
Because it matches, because it stays lit. You don't have to fight.
Right. Yeah.
The cigarette's way better.
Yeah, your mom was really thinking about your your well-being.
Well-being, right? My safety. George, what do you have in the works?
Well, there's a few things in pre-production, but right now everything's kind of on hold because we got the festival coming up in a couple months. So that's taking all of my attention right now.
By the way, Happenstance Horror Festival.
Horror Fest. So I wanted to say too, I wanted to invite all the filmmakers here to hit me up after this for a free waiver to this year's Happenstance Horror Fest. Submissions close next week, so I'm trying to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to get in. So if you want to hit me up, if you have a film, short, feature, whatever, music video, you can send it my way. And yeah, the event's in September.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I've been to several of them. I had the short I did with Michael, Umbilicus Desidera, premiered at Happenstance, which was very fun.
Yeah, it was a classic.
Yeah, and it's very cool because it has a lot of the same people come every year, and I like that about a lot of the festivals where it has a community feel to it.
For sure.
Yeah. Very good. And Sherry Lee, who's in your short, what other things have you worked on with her?
So I've done Scaring Sherry with her, which played at the last Limbs Festival. Which was just a joy to do. She is such a talented actress, probably one of the greatest in the New England indie scene. Her range is amazing, and she's always down to do any of the crazy stuff I ask her to do. And on that subject too, we are in the works of turning that short into a feature length, Scaring Sherry, at the same location.
Very cool. Where did we meet for the first time? Where did we meet each other? I can't remember.
We met at the it was a rap party for Paul McElharney's film.
Right. Yeah, that's actually kind of how I met Michael then too. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, it was a good night.
Yeah.
I believe I had a bottle of wine in each hand for that rap party.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it was before I quit drinking, so I probably had a little bit too. Let's see, Lucky, and I'm sorry, I forgot the name with Lucky's co-director. Is it Matthew? Matt. What are you guys working on?
So we are in production on that anthology, which is called Uncle Sleezo's Toxic and Terrifying TV Hour.
That is a hell of a name.
That's the idea. And we are, after that, we are heading into pre-production on Freak 2, which is very exciting. And always writing, always got something that will be next. But those two will come right off of Sleazo and go right into Freak 2, which is super exciting.
And we mentioned a lot about the effects in the movie, which really look great. But Leslie Dame is the I don't know what she is in the movie. I don't want to give too much away, but she's amazing in the film. Had you worked with her before?
Yeah, she is in every Dead Vision film that I have done, which in 2019 was my first film called Kindness of Strangers. She was the lead in that. And in Freak, she is in Freak. And she will be in everything that I ever do. I love working with Leslie. We know her very, very well. She's a dear friend. So, yeah, she's phenomenal.
Very cool. And Rudy.
The disembodied voice.
Were you about to say something, Matt? I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
No. So obviously we're starting up our festival run with Prudence. So we're keeping pretty busy with that. I've had a lot of people encourage me to adapt it into a feature film, actually. So I'm starting to explore that and see if it's viable as a feature. My writing partner and I just finished up a pilot for a revenge thriller that's kind of a black comedy. So we're also very excited to get that going. And then this year I have taken over as the executive director of the Wyoming International Film Festival.
Oh, very
so
cool.
I'm quite busy with that.
Yeah. How about who made like the headdress and like the costumes in the movie?
That a lot of that was me. I had a lot of fun making the costumes for the film. The headdress that's made of the branches, I actually found an artist on Etsy who made that for me. But a lot of the other elements of the costumes, because there's a lot of interesting costumes in Prudence. That's kind of what kept me busy, mostly in pre-production, was designing it, coming up with it, and just making it. So a lot of that was me.
Very cool. Looks great.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
JL Discord in the chat asked Julia, was she Team Freddy or Team Jason when she was a kid?
Team Freddy. Freddy. He can get you in your dreams. Fred.
Very true. I'm more of a Freddy guy as well.
Better quips.
That's right.
Jason has terrible dialogue. Sorry.
Tristan, do you have a question for everyone before we go?
Not for everyone. Sorry, everyone. I have a question for Steven. Is Sick and Wrong still accepting submissions?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking that. Yes, the Sick and Wrong Film Festival is accepting submissions right now for its 2021 event here in Orlando, Florida. The event itself is going to take place starting December 10th. And the festival submissions are open through Halloween. Side note, if you don't mind me taking this inch and running what do they take? Give them an inch? Whatever. I'm abusing your graciousness right now.
Take a mile.
That's what I'm doing. I'm taking a mile right now. Last year was the first time we did something called the 72-hour film debacle, which was a 72-hour film challenge open to filmmakers all over the planet. $25 for a team to enter. You make a movie in 3 days with some prompts, and then for everyone that can complete it, we screen for free to the world. We are going to be doing that again. So if you don't have a movie that you think fits Sick and Wrong, or if you don't have a movie sitting around but you want to be a part of the festival in some way, please keep an eye out for the 72-hour film debacle, which we will be bringing back.
Very cool.
Thank you very much, Trista.
Yeah, she's much more professional than me. So this Saturday is going to start at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. I think that's midnight government standard time in England. And all the other time zones, you guys can fill it out and do your own work on that. Severed Lambs was 30 shorts, I believe. A bunch of cool filmmakers. It's going to be a good time. I think the run time's around 5 hours or so. Come we'll have a chat room. A lot of filmmakers will be there. Fans will be there. Everyone will be there. Keep track of the ones you liked. Don't tell me ones you didn't like, but keep ones that you actually like. Send in a ballot afterwards, and we have an awards. It's very fun, and really just come and have a good time.
It is a really
big announcement about something in the
Thank you
future.
guys.
Can't wait.
Thank you,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Yep, it was very cool having you all here.
I like
Is he
that.
snapping?
I don't know, man. I'm just trying to.
Adam's
gotta
family
do-
snaps.
The Jets, like,
Ba-doom.
that's much more fitting than
Yes.
Here Come the Jets. All right. We will get out of here. But thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
I'm going to wave awkward on it. End.